on the platform, then I've just asked two questions. Okay, then I see someone is responding. Hello, Shilong. Please let's answer me, guys. What do you understand between the difference between a formula and a function? Please answer me. And then also, like I said, give an examples of functions that you know that we have used so far from yesterday. Please, let's respond, guys. Please, come on. Okay, I see there's one person responding. That's an example, Teron. That's some function, correct? And then someone, can you please just tell me what's the difference between function and the formula? So then please, let's respond, guys. Thank you, Teron. You're 100% correct. Some, remember equal sign, the name of the function, followed by the set of what? The parentheses. That is the rule that we spoke about yesterday. We should just maintain that, because if we can't keep the rules, that becomes a problem. So to avoid that, okay, I'm just about to start right now, guys. This is just a recap of what we did yesterday. And then we're just recapping on what we did yesterday. So now it's time about to start the lesson. Like, this is a recap of what we did yesterday, because we are talking about the functions. Yes, Tyrese. Yes, guys, I wanted you to respond, but anyway, it's fine. Let's start about today's lesson. So as I'm just about to start, as usually, then you know, this is Mr. Mohane. This is my email address, mohanejr@live.com. That's where you can be able to reach me. For in case you need any help, then please send me an email. So, okay, before we can start, like we know, yesterday we spoke about the basic functions, and then we differentiated between the formula and the function, I believe, of which, and then we all understand what is the difference between a function and the formula. So now, once again, then we have used some basic function like sum and the product, then so many functions that we have just used yesterday. So then you have seen how does these functions applies in real life to do the data analysis with the program Microsoft Excel, because we can call it a spreadsheet or a workbook. So those are the names that we can refer to your file. Like, we know the difference between the worksheets, all this, like I said, we need to be more familiar with what we are doing. Yeah. So now, like, we know how to use those functions like maximum and the mean. Those are the functions that we have used. Like today, as we are continuing, I'm expecting you to also, as part of the revision, to understand the function and the formula and know the difference, because you'll be using this. Like I said, remember, you can use formula and the function together as well. Use basic functions. So we are continuing. And also today, the most important thing that is additional to what we support is error, because we have seen yesterday we came across some errors. Then we need to know what type of error is this one, and then what causes that error, and then how can we fix that error on our Excel document, guys. So that is very much more important, so that at least next time, should you experience any error on your function, then you know what causes that. Then since you know, that means it's very simple for you to understand how to fix that. So that's it. So let me just get started. As we know, the spreadsheet is our application. As part of the revision, this is, we have practiced this yesterday, like the sum. This is the name of the function, like I said, then followed by the set of the parentheses. Inside, I said this is what the parameter of, but an actual value that is within this cell reference, we call it an argument of this function. So that's just a revision of what we did yesterday. We spoke about this function, then we adding. So here, from A1 up to A20, that is a cell range. From this range, you're adding all these numbers that are within this cell, from A1, A2, 3, 4, 5 up to 20. So all the numbers that are within these cells, then you'll have to add them, because from here to here, then we call it a cell range. That is a range. So A1 is a cell reference. You know what is a cell reference, because we spoke about this before we start. So I believe then everyone is still following. Like I said, the basic principles are very much more important to know the rules. This is a function average. Remember, all the time you have to start with the name of what the function. So this is what the range A1 up to 20 again. count, then we know. So here it's when we want the average. So if we want to count how many learners are in class, so we use the function count. But remember, yesterday we did an example of saying, so we want the learner who got the highest or the lowest mark. So we use the function minimum and maximum. So that means the function is going to pick up that number from the range. That is the list of the numbers on the range. The highest here is maximum. So then we did all these functions yesterday. As we continue, now let's go further with the function. Can I do this? If you allow me, then I'm just about to continue. Okay, there's a function now that I'm going to talk about. This is another one. Like those are the one that we did yesterday. Like I remember the syntax. A syntax is like a rule, guys. Now, in other words, if I'm saying syntax, that means a rule. Like I said, we need to understand the rules. Like the same applies like in maths. We've got the rules. Like I spoke about the botmas because they said what we're doing also in maths is almost same applicable in Excel. Because remember, with the software product, we are integrating and automating what the manual processes. So in other words, the same functions that apply manually in context of mathematics, they are also applicable in Excel. Like that is why I have just emphasized that everyone, you need to have a very strong background in terms of mathematics in order for you to understand Excel very well. You understand? So now let's check here. We said all the time, if you want to do the calculations, you must start with equal sign followed by the name of the function here. And also, in order for you to show this is a function, it must be followed by the set of what? The parentheses. This function will display what? The current date and will update every time when you open the spreadsheet. Can I just go to this new screen? And then these are some of the examples here, guys, I'm going to show you. But anyway, here, let me just do this first again. And then stop sharing the screen. Okay, I'm going to share the screen again. So I'm gonna just go back to, okay, now this is errors, then I need functions. Okay, there we are. This is what I want to share with you. Like I'm saying, equals to, let me just type here, equals to, what's going on? Oh, okay, I see now, there's a problem here. So I just need to fix this. So it's on the formula, okay. Okay, let me just resume sharing the screen. Okay, like what I've seen there, let me just say equals to today. Immediately when you type in like this, you'll see this. Then when you enter, so it's gonna give you what? Today's date. So this is a function today. So immediately then when you type in this function, it's gonna give you this today's date. Okay, let me just go back again. So then now since we understand the function today, will display the current date and will update you every time when you open the spreadsheet. Then say for example, then you close this spreadsheet, then you open it tomorrow, then it's going to give you tomorrow's date, of which is going to be 23 of May 2020. So that's a function. So now this function will display the current date and the time and will update you as well like the previous one. Can we also test this and do this and check what is happening? Let's say all the time, remember equal sign, then we are saying now. So this is now is a function, it's gonna return what? They said date and time, you see. But now, why the time is 8 minutes past 2, is taking the time on my computer because the time on my computer is not set correctly. So even if I can just change the time here, so but I don't have to waste time then, because when you adjust the time, then it's gonna take the same time of the computer here. Then it's gonna take the time of the computer and today's date. That is a function when now. This is a function today. So this is how these functions differ from each one other. So okay, let's continue again. So talk about another function again that is called rand. So that means random. This function will display a random number between 0 and 1. Like I'm gonna just go and test the example that I have here. So I'm going back to this. Like you see here, this is a function random, or you can just type in rand run. Okay, you see, because of there's no equal sign. That means it can't recognize that you want to do calculations, but immediately when I'm saying rand, you see, random, it does know. So this is a random function. Even if I can just do like this, you see, that becomes a random function. So if I'm rounding this, because they said the number is between 0 and 1. So let's check. I'm rounding this to the nearest decimal, full number, not decimal place. So the whole number is 1 here. So I'm rounding this. This is 1 again. This is 1 again consecutively then. But now they go randomly. But now let's check here. 0. And then what is this now? This is 1. It's 1 again, 1 and 1 and 1 and 0 again here. So this is how this function works, guys. The same applies in here. So what you see here, that is a random function. But now we know how to apply this function, guys. Like I said, the most important thing to do, even in assessment, guys, when you write, you should be able to use this function. That is the most important thing, because even if, so you must understand the question. Make sure that you are able to convert that into mathematical form, like using the functions. So like they know sometimes they want the learner who scored the highest marks, that I understand. Obviously the function could be maximum, you understand exactly. So that should be able to do the analysis of your data and then make sure that you understand the question thoroughly. So okay. So now, since we know how does the function rent, so we know the name of the function always is equals to the name of the function followed by the set of the parentheses. That is the rule. So we should maintain that, because immediately hence you don't do that, that means there's going to be a problem. Therefore, the Excel will never understand that you want to do the calculations. So please don't do your own calculations using your own thoughts and their minds and say, yes, I know mathematically. You know, here, the idea is that you should be able to use the formulas that are within the application here. So that's what we want. No, like those that are doing handling in maths, like I said, guys, you need to know maths, the mod. And the data handling, we are talking about the sample statistic, the population, then the sample mean. So then where we collect this, what's that? The statistics about a certain subject. Maybe you're collecting, you wanna just check how many cars pass over here, then at a certain time interval. Understand? So now on that data that we have, before we can do what we tally that, so we need to check how many frequently are appearing in that. Now this function will display the value that occur the mostly. Then you'll see how. Like on the range now, I'm just gonna just show you an example on the range here. So okay, let me just go back here. So like for example, let's check. We've got this test one, test two, test three, like as we had yesterday. But now the other new thing that is added here, we are talking about the gender here. Let's check the mod function. Like we want the most frequently appearing number. So where are we checking the mod function now? On test two, which number does it mostly frequently appear? We've got one. There's 20 is appearing one time, second time, the third time. So then is there any other number that appear more than once? No, except 20. So that means that function is called the mod function. So when you write that, it's going to be equals to mod. Okay, that's mod. Then you select what your range. We want that mod from this range here. So then we are saying it's gonna say 20. That's what is happening in here. So from the mod, from the cell range, from this range of the numbers, which one does it mostly appear? And then how many times does it appear? It appears 3 times. That is a mostly appear. So because like in data handling, the statistics, guys. So this is applicable. So this is very simple, more especially when you do your say for example in your practical assessment task. because you need to conduct your research and then do the data collection through the questionnaires that will administer through the Google Forms or whichever way a method you prefer. Then when you do the analysis, say for example, then you'll know how many of people maybe of this age has responded. That's how you can use this formula to the analysis on your data, guys. So that is why it's very important that whatever anything that we are learning here, we should be able to apply it in real life situation, as much as like now they're exposing you into the research field on how to apply this, because this is a data analysis, guys. We need to analyze our data now. So how many most frequently appearing with the same, then we know, okay, Peter and who, that's Peter and Susan and who else again, and then bang, they've got the same marks for that. Those are the mostly appearance, so they are almost on the same level. So sometimes the concept is like you want to check how many people have the same marks, so we can apply that function, the mod function. So that's how we can just use this function. Can I go back again? So I believe now everyone then understand what is a mod function, then how does it apply. So as you have seen, an example of that. So that's it all about. So let me just proceed to the next function. Like I said, the median. That's the middle value of the number list. So the middle one. So the one at the middle. So from the range. So let's go and check again. The function will display the middle value of the numbers. The middle one. So we'll have the middle number. Let's check how does the function applies in here. There we are. We go back again. What are we looking? The median function. So that's the median. So which one? Let's check. We've got 40, 20, 20.5, and whatsoever. Let's check. This is a median. You type in the median of the range, then you get an answer here. That means the middle number from this is gonna be 21.5, counting from maybe 40, 34, and then up to no, that's 34, 32, and then what comes after there? That's 28. After 28, what is it? I've counted 32 already. And then so like what comes in the middle from that other side is gonna be 20, and then 21, 22, the one at the middle. So then we choose it, the middlemost one, then that is it. So that's a function. So because this one in statistics, guys, then like I said, if you are taking maths or even the maths lead, I believe you guys are also covering the concept of the data handling, then you understand this. So these are the functions that we can use. Like I said, remember when you go to the formulas, like I said, we've got lots and lots of the formulas in Excel. That means it's very important. Like for example, even the statistics. So we've got the statistical functions. Like you see, these are the statistical functions, the chi-squares, but this one you see them when you go to the varsity level, and then count if, then some of the functions we're still using them here, the forecast, statistics, then like that's when we do the inference. So all of these functions, they are related to the statistics. For those who will be studying the statistics as a subject at varsity, then they don't know how to use all these formulas here. So those that will be doing engineering here, there are formulas for them. So you understand there are some more other formulas, like you see, like I said, there are lots and lots of the functions that are available in Excel. It's very broad, this Excel, guys. And because at the end of the day, it's all about the data analysis. Then it's just a shortcut to do the analysis of the numbers for us. So, okay, let me just proceed to the next function again. So now we understand what is a median as a function. So let's bear in mind that this procedure, we should maintain it all the time, equal sign, followed by the name of the function. Then function must be followed by sets of the parentheses. If there are no parentheses, even if you can say equal sign, then the name, so there's no function, nothing will happen, guys. That means we cannot break the rule. So then we need to know and then have that rule. So unless otherwise, so then we need to maintain that. So then, Okay, let's talk about another function that is called count. I believe now this we did yesterday, but the one that we did, it was just only called a count. But now we are talking about the count if. For instance, when you see the keyword if, that becomes a logical operators. I'm going to talk about the operators. Like yesterday, we spoke about the type of the operators, like arithmetic operators, the comparison, the text, the concatenation. Then some of the operators, I believe now you are familiar with them. So now, if it becomes a logical operator, can I show you? I'm going back to this here. You see the logic here. The logic, it has to do with what? False if, you see, check whether, if it says whether a condition is met and return one value is true and otherwise, this is called a Boolean. So now, in other words, we are testing the Boolean expression. So that's, everyone does know what is a Boolean expression. So whatever that is within your function now, in this instance, we call it what? A Boolean expression, because of what? The condition does need to be tested. Let me just go there into there. Yeah, that's a function. Let's check here. You see, we've got count if. So what? If what? The condition is here. If the boy is, how many boys here? So that's condition. We are looking for the boys on the range. Because here on the range we've got boys and girls. But now we need to just be specific and filter. How many boys do we have in this class? So now that is why we've got the logical operator. That logical, that means is called a Boolean. So this is called a Boolean expression, the whole of this, because we are testing the true value of this. So because it's going to check how many of the males here, one, two, three, four, cannot see again. Males, one, two, three, four, five, six. Can I see? Yeah, that's six. That means it's going just to pick up only the number on the males. So following what? The criteria that we are testing here on the formula here, on the expression. So this expression is going to give us the answer for any true value, because like, let me just show you something. If you see here, if you click here, check whether condition is met and return one value if true, other value if false, understand? So that means for the value of boys is going to return that number of the boys. The false, these are the functions, return logical value false. Not all these are called the logical operators. So we all testing the Boolean expression using what? The logical operators, guys. So we need to know all these formulas. They are very much more important, guys. You understand? Same applies in here. Like for example, let's check. Now the criteria has changed now. We are looking at males. Then how many males are there? One, two, three, four. That's it. So, but if ever then I change this to F, let's check what's gonna happen. You see, it's just balancing because of what, that feature that we spoke about called auto calculation. So then it balanced that already, because we are just changing only the data entry. Also, that is why it has to update the final results in here. So that is what is happening there. So we need to understand how to use these formulas, guys. It's quite interesting. Make sure that you've developed that love with mathematics. Unless otherwise, guys, you'll never go wrong. You'll never get bored. Then you'll enjoy this. That's excellent, by the way. So now, since we know a count if, immediately when function could be some if, that means if you see the keywords if, then you know there's a criteria that you need to test now. That's going to be your cell range from here. That's a count, that's a function name. If, then we know, followed by the set of parentheses as a rule that we know. From there is what? From the range, then comma. The rule says the criteria all the time must be enclosed with the double inverted commas. So this is a rule, guys, for testing any logical any Boolean expression, guys. So when you test your criteria in here, your criteria always must be followed by these sets of the parentheses, not parentheses, I mean double quotation marks here. So because this is what your range, comma, you put the criteria here. This is count if. Then we can come to count some, then okay, at later stage. I think some of them you'll do them at later stage, like I said, in other grades like grade 11, hence we go up to the higher level. So you see more complicated function like this one. These are the basics of what you need to know. So it's very important to make sure that you understand the basic foundation of all this, so that the more we go up to the upper room or the upper level, then it's easy for us to build upon the foundation that we have. So let's be careful about our foundation. Let's make sure that we create a very strong foundation. Make sure that you understand everything that is at this level. So because it's just gonna be a building up blocks. If you forget your foundation, that means you are, so the whole structure of your house, it does change because of the foundation. Make sure that your foundation becomes more strong and rigid, guys. So that's my advice to you. Okay, the function will display only those values that meet certain condition. Like for example, you have seen we are testing for the males, then it counted how many males are on that range. Then we get that. For instance, count all the males learners. Then we have seen that already. We did this. Okay, relational operators, guys. Relational operators, sometimes you can call them comparison operators because relational operators, these are called comparison operator or the relational operators. Like for example, what you see here, greater, less, less or equals to, greater or equals to, not equals to, and equals to. These are relational or the comparison operators. We'll be using all these operators throughout in your Excel. So we need to know how to understand, how to apply these guys. So this is very much important. It forms the core of our subject. Let me just continue again now. So show you how to use the relational operator. This function will display only those values that meet certain condition now. But on the condition here, let's go back again from the previous one. Then I just want to show you something. You see here, there's nothing like any operator that is used here. So the relational, that means you need to relate that to, you understand, something. This function will display only those values that meet certain criteria. In this instance, anything that is greater than 100 on that range is going to be counted, you understand. Only those values that meet certain conditions, like for instance, count all the numbers that are more than 100. So anything that is below that criteria, then it's not going to be counted. It can't be number. So it can't be counted in. So we use what the relational operators to do what the comparison. Okay, can I just go back again before I can go to the new things again? So I'm just about to come here. Let's check. This is how you can apply the relational operator as well. So from this example, let's check here. We've got these learners with the marks here. So this is test 4, test 3. Is a test 3 on test 3, then we need to know how many learners got the distinction. But now, what's the condition? So then we have to define that condition using what? The relational operator. So because we are saying anything greater than 80, so that's going to be a distinction. So then how many on the range? From range E6 to E15. Let's check. E6 is Peter. The last one is Mosa. Then between Mosa and Peter, then let's check. Anyone above 80 is who? Sean. And who else? Ben. That means we've got only two. So that is why here then the results is what? We've got two. Let me just change here and say these people got 90. This one. I'm saying 90, 90 here. So I'm changing it to 90. See, it's saying now 3. So immediately when I change and say this one got 82, let's check. Okay, what is it? I want to just say 82. 82. You see? So it's going to change just like that. So, sorry. Just put it, change it here. 82. You see? It's changing the number of the results now because now if you're having more on the criteria of people that got that. So this is how we can do what our data analysis. So now the same expectation here, guys, on your data phase two of a practical assessment task. So where then like you collected your information, the respondent have answered all your questionnaires, then now you need to check and do the data analysis. Then how many maybe frequently appeared then on the range depending on what you are doing on your data analysis, by the way. So then you have to apply these formulas, guys. Then you are standing the better chances of getting the better marks for your practical assessment task. So the most important thing about the PET, guys, we need to know how to apply all the concepts that we have learned. Like for example, more especially than the research, being the research, then remember then in weight, then we've got the tab reference. Then you need to know, show us the skill on how to use that tab by acknowledging the source of other people. So, but now in phase two, then we do the data analysis because already we have collected data in phase no no in phase two through the form, the Google Forms that we created as a questionnaire that we created for the respondent to respond back to our questionnaire. So that's it. So I think that's all about the functions today. Then I'm going to talk more about the errors after here. So error, like we have seen, there is a error indicators. These are the error indicators. So now I'm going to talk about the error indicators. The error indicator, like for example, it tells you that the reason this column is not wide enough to display the answer. That's why it tells you this is an error. So that means if your column, like that means the solution for that, widen the column by making it bigger. So let's check. I'm gonna go share something similar to this. Then these are the errors that I set. You see, we've got this type of the error here. You see. So this is a type of the error. These are the types of the error. Nothing like any other formula in here. But what causes this? Look, this is my in my formula bar. Then I wanted to calculate what G3 times H4. Where is it? G3 times H4. You understand? So, but because of this column, then it's not wider. Then so let me just make it this way. Okay. No, wait. There we are. You get it now. Because they said it's very small, and then we make it bigger like that. So that's how we fix this error now. This is the type of the error. Then we must know how to fix this. Another type of the error is this one. And then let's go and check what causes this. I'm going back again. This is error again. Typing or spelling mistake. Like for example, let's check your function is not spelled well. Like it should correspond the one that is predefined within your application. Like if you don't spell it right, then you'll never get it right. So check the spelling of the function name exactly. So let's go back and check what's going on there. So let's check now. You see the way they wrote average. No, this is not good. Even if, like I said, when I type AV already, then you'll have this an average. You see. So when we just say, you see, you'll get it correct. You understand? So these are the types of the errors and know how to correct these errors, guys. That's only the way to fix these errors. So then we can fix the errors this way. Okay, one other thing I'll share these documents so that you can just do your own practice at your own time then. So this is how we fix the errors. So let's fix the error, then we fix them so we know what causes this one. So I spoke about this yesterday, if you still remember that. Any division by zero, so that means that one it gave us a problem. So you see, let's check again. Any division by zero. So let's check what causes this one. We know we did corrected this. We corrected the spelling. Then this one, the cell reference in the formula is not valid anymore. Maybe that cell or row column is being deleted. Change the cell reference to correct. So, but just unfortunately, this one I didn't do this. But let's check on this one. Division. We divide by zero. Division by zero. This happens when you try to divide by zero. Maybe your cell is empty. Check your cell if the cell is empty. Let's check. Let's go back again and check what is happening in cell G5. Where's G5? Then I've got this. Obvious, this is 0 here. Let me just put the number 2 and check. You see, that's what causes that. Mhm. Okay, can I do this again? So now you see, you know what causes this. And then, okay, this one. Incorrect data used for instance where text is multiplied by the number. That's what you get this. Can I go here again? Let's check. If I'm saying equals to, then I'm going to fix this again and say, I'm going to say equals to what? Sum of what? This and this. Then I end. Wait, something wrong here. Okay, what's this? Okay, correct. Number 2. Are still giving me the same? Let me just check. Something wrong here. But what causes this? If the data is not corresponding here, but let me just check what the type of the data is. This one, because we spoke about the data type, guys. That was not so far. That was day before yesterday. Let me just say this one is date. Okay, I'm just change it to date. Okay. What's going on? No, there's something wrong with this cell. I don't know because it doesn't want to change. Okay, can I just maybe say time? No, it doesn't at all. What's going on? Just check it again. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. Time. Okay. Now something on the Excel by the way so far, but immediately when you see hashtag value, so you know the wrong data types. So you must make the data type to correspond. So that means you can turn this number by the number, then not text by the text. So that's what causes that error. Can I just go back again? The solution, check yourselves, make sure there's no text in it. Maybe you type in the R for this, you understand? That's what causes that. So this is another error again. So hashtag num. Problem with this num, maybe negative number instead of positive number is used. Ensure the value are valid in here. So that means incorrect value can cause this error as well. I believe this is an end of chapter for today, guys. I hope to continue the practical again next week. So especially Excel, because I know it's quite more challenge because at grade 10 we don't do access. I know access and Excel are a bit much more challenge, more especially for grade 11s and 12. So then I like to practice Excel more with you guys so that at least you understand all the concept about the Excel. Also, as I know, it takes a lot of marks. You should make sure that you understand and you master access. By the time when you get into grade 11, make sure that you understand access. And then wait, remember guys, you do wait from grade 10 up to 12. That is why I'm not going to count weight that much because I know Excel is still a big challenge. Is still a big challenge for many students. Can I entertain any question from you guys before then we just end the session for today? Because I see I've got new people again, Hotazo, and then who else again? Pile is always Nagro, Nelly, Dino, Say sometimes you are in or not. So, okay, guys. Any question from your side before we just call it a day? So, can I entertain the questions from your side? Okay. Is there a link for the work? Okay. Can I just send them just now? Thank you for the reminder. Dimi Buhle. Okay, let me just send this file from me just now. Just do this right now without any waste of time. Thanks for reminding me because I was just about to, then I nearly forgot. So, any other question again? Okay, what's going on here? Digital. Mm-hmm. Okay, stand. Okay, guys. Okay. For the errors, I'm gonna send the information about the errors at first. The second one is gonna be about, okay, still the errors, then send you more. I believe you now got the information. Okay, can I just go back a little bit again? I'm gonna share the information about the functions as well that we just did today. So I want you to practice this, guys. Lana, I don't understand. So try to be more specific. Why would someone need to use the rand function? Then it will depend on the situation or the problem that you're solving. Maybe they want the numbers that will appear randomly. So that's this one is influenced by the question, like I said. So when you read your questions, because more especially when we ask Excel questions, they are more like scenario-like questions. Then when you do analysis on your questions, that's where I believe then you'll understand. So what do you mean, Tino, again? So will we ever use PowerPoint? What do you mean? So PowerPoint is part of the syllabus for grade 10, but isn't in grade 11, so there's no more PowerPoint. There will be a new application introduced. Like I said, is Access. It starts from grade 11 up to 12. So that's it, Tino. So, okay. Any other question again? Any other question again? Good people, thanks, Tino. Okay. So there we are. Then with the more functions to practice, guys, then make sure that you do this and then you practice them. Make sure that you understand everything in there. Like I said, I've shared the book. Dino, bye bye. So I'm just about to say bye, guys. Let me just check what time. No, we still have some few minutes. No question, guys. That means you all understand and following what I'm doing with you right now here, guys. So if that's the case, then I'm also happy. But I think I'll have to set an assessment, then I'll prepare that via the teacher Socrates. Then I think we'll have to tackle that. And so, but for the practical, then I think I'll have to send you the data file, then the questions. Then from there, you'll send your response to me, like whatever, any change that you have done from your document, then you have to send it back via my email. So I think that's only the way, because if you don't respond, then I cannot guarantee that we all understood that. That's only the way for me to assess you guys. So I think by next week, make sure that you'll expect assessment about what we did along this week. Okay. So Buhle, I haven't sent a link, by the way. So because what I've just shared now with you is information that I'm just currently using. Can I see here? Okay, no, let me just resend the other one again. Okay, I'm sending. No, I've sent how many documents? 3 documents so far. And then two went, one is giving me the problem. I don't know. Because I'm trying to resend it again. So the one with the errors, but at least I've shared Microsoft Word documents for errors, guys. Then you can check on it. It's the same as the one, but let me just try again and then resend this one. Okay, I'll just do this. Okay. Okay, I'm just resending again, but I don't know. There's a problem with this file. It can't. They say network disconnects. So just unfortunately, guys, but the same thing that is on Microsoft Word, guys, you can just try to redo that in Excel. So okay, guys, let me just call it a day for today. Thank you. See you once again next week.